at the announcement podium at the point in time when Professor Gulie was to go to that podium to announce the 27 stations which had been verified and tallied. I'll play the 4-second clip. Thank you, Sonia. Please. Yes, this is Bomas just before Professor Gulie was to announce This is covered in the affidavit of the chairman, and is also touched on in the affidavit of Professor Gulie and also the chief executive, Mr. Marjan. My lords, that was the environment at that particular time. It was practically not possible for Mr. Gulie to announce. Our contention is that lack of announcement does not go to the level where you would consider those constituencies untallied or unverified. What then were the aim of the commissioners when they say we wanted to, quote unquote, own the results? Because verification is a very simple process. It has been defined. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. Tallying is a mathematical process. The only other verification required, other than compare the forms, was has the candidate met the 50% plus one. What the commissioners actually wanted to do was what was stated in the affidavits of the chairman, the Professor Gulie, and Mr. Molu, which was to moderate the results so that a pre-agreed or pre-arranged result can be declared. That is what they wanted. What they wanted was for a meeting to sit over the decision of who will be president. Not the voters, not Form 34A, not the polling station as the law is, but for a meeting of the commissioners at the National Tallying Center after the work had been done to moderate. That is illegal, it is unconstitutional, it is completely unacceptable. And this is in the affidavit. There were two meetings prior to that final meeting. One where there were visitors from the security agencies and the other from individual Kenyans. And those meetings were confirmed by all the protagonists. And this really was the scheme. This was the rupture. You asked yesterday, how come we had not heard of this dysfunctional commission earlier? Because it was a process that was going on, and at the point of disagreement is at the point where now we have rupture. And from that point onwards, those commissioners are part of the scheme, and this time instead of announcing the wrong results, it is aimed at getting this court to overturn the results. That is the scheme. That is the decision the commissioners wanted to be part of. In terms of technology, there are a number of allegations. I adopt the presentation from my colleague, Mr. Gumbo. In terms of the numbers, I adopt the long presentation of Mr. Mahat. And I would stop there in terms of the allegations. Suffice it to say that there have been many, they have been sensational, they have remained unproven, and they are not worthy of the level required to overturn the presidential elections of this country. Let me now go to the remedies very briefly. And the remedies, just one point in terms of the earlier issue. There was a push for moderation. That essentially is to overturn the elections. There was interference from state agents, again asking for a specific. Those are averred in several affidavits. There was the issue of the DCI and certain other state agencies. Contrary to the law requires that under Section 105 of the Elections Act, that all state organs and state officers must give assistance to this commission during this difficult period. Contrary to that, the DCI was indeed an impediment to the holding of the elections and to the functions of the IEBC at that point in time. There were very many officers of the commission picked from the tallying center, outside the tallying center. It is not a coincidence that the 4 commissioners refer to those staff members which were then picked by the ATPU. Ask yourself, what is the anti-terrorism police unit got to do with our elections in Bomas? Why would the anti-terrorism police unit be involved in the tabulation verification exercise at Bomas? And that scheme, that assault on our democracy is what you are being asked now at the tail end to. Let me also refer you to the affidavits of the commissioners where they say that the election process was okay until the very tail end. That tail end is where the matters went haywire. Let me go to the reliefs, my lords and my ladies. The reliefs, as known by law in terms of the Constitution, is at 143. The Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court determines that the election of the president-elect is to be invalid, a fresh election shall be held within 60 days after the determination. And Rule 22 of this court's presidential election petition rules empowers the court, after hearing a presidential election petition, to either dismiss the petition, which is what we are urging the court to do, what our clients are urging the court to do, or to declare the election of the president-elect either valid or invalid, and invalidate the declaration made by the commission under Article 139(5), and then orders to payments. There was a reference to Section 80 of the Elections Act, and it states that the court has additional power to, quote, direct the commission to issue a certificate of election of a president if, upon recount of the ballots cast, the winner is apparent and that the winner is not found to have committed an election offense. Our view is that this is not operative in this case. Number one, this section assumes a recount. We have no recount in this case. Number two, it's not specific to the presidential elections, as is the case with the Constitution. And number three, it says that as a precondition, as a condition precedent, whoever is getting the benefit of that relief must, of necessity, have not committed an election offense, which presupposes that there is a process for that to have been determined, which has not happened in this case. In any event, it is the contention of the petitioners that indeed the petitioners or their agents are guilty of presidential or of election offenses, and therefore they ought not to be entitled to that relief. But can I go back to the relief sought by the petitioners, especially in 005? They are very convoluted. There are many. They are conflicting. If you look at, and some of them are strange. For example, there is in paragraph 18 of the remedies sought in the petition number 005, you are asked to uphold the decision of the 4 commissioners in rejecting the declaration. No such decision or no such lawful decision exists. You are asked in paragraph 9 to order directing IEBC to tally and verify, then declare. That has already happened. The tallying and verification has already happened. You are also asked to find that the elections were held in complete contravention of the Constitution, yet declare under section, hopefully 84, the petitioners, the president-elect and the deputy president-elect. Those two do not help the same. And then you are also asked to get the election invalid, in which case the section kicks in that there will be a rerun in 60 days, yet to hold that the IEBC, as currently constituted, cannot hold the election, in which case, again, you have a conflict that is not subject to be determined. So our view is that the totality of the relief sought raise a lot of problems, as mentioned by the judges on a number of occasions. In terms of the reliefs we are seeking the reliefs as listed out in the responses, all of them, and jointly. We are also seeking reliefs as far as the chairman is concerned, as far as the number of criminal actions stated or alleged in the respondents. I adopt all the affidavits, my lords and my ladies, stated by my learned senior Professor Gideon Mugai, and the presentations thereafter. Suffice it to say that what we have witnessed is at the tail end of a very long process. We in this country have gone through a lot of reforms as a result of elections. If you recall, the entire ECK was disbanded by legal fiat as a result of an election. Thereafter, we have had to completely redo our election infrastructure. We have come to the point where this court, 5 years ago, laid the law. Now, if you look at all those steps, we have taken radical steps that have cost treasure, that have cost lives, that has cost livelihoods, including staff members of the ECK who have either died in office or who have been fired as a result of being told you have all been disbanded. Our law has no problem, my lords. Our elections have no problem. The problem lies with our politics, and the problem lies with our political culture. That cannot be legislated. It cannot be delivered through litigation. It has to be elsewhere. Men and women who run for office in this country must accept that it is possible to win. Indeed, it is even more likely to lose, because typically an election involves more than two people, and the chances of the losers being more than the winner are very high. Until we accept that, we are going to be harming the country, we are going to be harming our institutions, we are going to be hurting independent institutions and individuals who work in those institutions. Kenyans who give a lot, ask for nothing, and get to be denigrated in the hallowed halls of this court. My lords, I will stop there. I will ask my... Thank you, my lords and my ladies.
My lady, learned members of the court, it gives me great pleasure to return back to the court 13 minutes and 20 seconds. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for donating to us 13 minutes. We will... Yes. We would like to break now and resume exactly at 2, when we will start now the case for should be yes. Yes. I'm trying to get the right description of the parties, but it will be the case of William Ruto and also the Attorney General. Not now, when we resume at 2, because we haven't risen, we need to rise.
I think in order it will be the 2 commissioners. There are 2 commissioners.
Their case has been done.
You are done?
Yes.
Then it's Attorney General, because
yes.
we are to respond to the Attorney General, pursuant to the leave you gave us,
yes.
that we respond to the Attorney General. So it will be Attorney General. My learned senior, Oraro, senior counsel is present, and then I'll take over the case for the first and second.
There is no problem.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so we resume at 2. Thank you.
Yo, ni aje? Ni kama unashangaa kwa nini naangalia simu with so much focus, eh? Usishangae sana. Nimekuwa ndani ya story kabisa. Ni kama ile hali ya juzi. Ni kama nilikuwa hapo iki happen. And when this new market was being opened, ni kama nilikuwa hapo tu. Hata vile local tourists for a special rate at the coast, I was there. And when this new road was being commissioned, I was right there. Na hata wewe, unaweza kuwa ndani ya story wherever you are. Just download Citizen Digital.
Stay informed on all the news and events as they happen across the country, the continent, and the world at large. Download Citizen Digital, Kenya's #1 news app.
Niki ureciria? Wajira niki kiraguthumbura niki onekana na meciria maingi ugu.
Hindi ciothe uri ukoragwo hamwe nani nditigagirira ni ndirakurora umenyerere kwe ikinya ritari riega kana maundu maku mathukani
na githe ndwerekeire gutuika mutumia ni ugatuika nyina wa mundu etwe ndiroria tutige kundona maita macio.
Taka ku live stream the game. Experience our expanded 4G network coverage and send money for free on Airtel to Airtel. Make Chaguo smarter on voice, data, and now on Airtel Money. Airtel, the most affordable network.
Hamwe na uthii wa na mbere mirimu na mathina ma kimwiri no muhaka muturire-ini. No naguo urigitani ni ukurite na gikiro guthaitira ruriri.
Hindi ya kurite ko rikuitwo ni kini. Riu kini gya kugeko kihana ugu ni nyama. Higo cikoragwo ciiciga cia guthambia.
Ni guthomithio maria macungagiriria mirimu.
Uguo ragio ni wetagwo thinokio. Iyo yehera iyo ni wetagwo arthritis.
Lens eno utheri ungerema kuhituka. Iyo ni utikaga njereri.
Njira cia gwithema na kurigita mathina ma kimwiri.
Mundu agwa ni undu wa kuringika. Magiriro kamugarura arore na iguru.
Akorwo ni urenda kuoya kindu kiritu ugataga maguru ugekera urituku maguru-ini waheare kigura mai witiririe kironda kiu ndagika 20
ndukahitukwo ni tafarira ya uria ndagitari o muthenya wa mwambiririo nginya wa gatano thinacara cia hwaini.
Shesheni ya Inoro TV.
Tafarira ya njera-ini citu umuthi ingirite njera-ini ya atumia ya Nyeri. Njera ino ina atumia aingi na o muoho ari mihang'o-ini ya kugeria kwagirithia muturire wake ihinda riri maratungatira cioho itiganite. Hari atumia aya ndirakora makiruta kothi ya gutuma. Rugano rwa mutumia uyu rukanguciriria muno kuona ngero iria yamurehire njera nirecokera mahinda kwa mahinda kuri micii miingi guku bururi-ini.